Yeehaw! And we are back for another MLR Weekly as presented by Rugby Wrap-Up Matt McCarthy in New York City, and we have a great show for you. We have the reigning champion New England Free Jacks head coach Ryan Martin. We have John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning and Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Show on the College Rugby Corner. But before we get to any of it, ladies and gentlemen, I just had to point out that this is now Lent. Lent started on Ash Wednesday, which was preceded by Mardi Gras / Fat Tuesday. And what does that all mean? It means that I don't really exist for the next 40 plus days because I give up drinking, cursing, and lying. So apologies in advance if I'm miserable on the shows in the foreseeable future, which I can't even say. Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly brought to you by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, New York City. The world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle.
There is a massive responsibility on the 23 that are privileged enough to step out on that field today.
Let's get it all started with our recurring segment, Rugby Morning's Coffee Break with John Fitzpatrick, calling in from the greater Los Angeles area. And John, before we go any further, I just want to apologize to you for last week because I did throw you under the bus after the news broke about the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement between Major League Owners and players came out. It was after we shot your segment. And through the beauty of magic, and you know Hollywood because you live in L.A., and I know Hollywood because I am Hollywood, I went back and shot my response, acting as though you didn't know what was going on, and it was seamless, and it was great. It was great acting on my part, Emmy or Oscar worthy. But again, I want to apologize to you, John, for throwing you under the bus.
Matt, it takes a big, strong man like yourself to admit that you were wrong and apologize and appreciate that. But before we can move on, you do have to say one nice thing about me.
Oh, you have great hair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Matt, I mean, let's talk about the CBA real quickly, just because I know you all talked about it all last week. You know you cut me out, but you did apologize, and I guess I accepted your apology. But there's a couple of good things coming out of it. Two things I want to mention. One, the fact that the MLRPA and the players have kind of got back their maybe group licensing rights, the NIL, they mentioned it in the little graphic. I think this is intriguing because what a lot of other player associations all across the world and here in the U.S. have done is they've been able to gobble those rights, collect them together, and go out and try and establish group licensing programs like jerseys, like player jerseys, bobbleheads, trading cards, name and number t-shirts, all those things that fans collect in other sports that really truly bring in new fans. That, I think, is very intriguing, Matt McCarthy. I know you're a big proponent of player name and number jerseys.
Yes, and, creating stars out of the players, A, to generate interest, B, to get some merch money coming in, and C, I don't have a C. What else?
Well, I think the other thing, and I think this is really important, it's great that there's some economic gains for players and the health and safety standards going on par with leagues around the world and World Rugby standards. But I think the biggest thing in all of this, particularly from a business point of view, is not that there's a CBA in place covering 2026 and 2027. If you're an outside investor looking to put money into the sport, knowing that everyone's kind of playing by the same rules, it's on par across the world, you feel better about putting your money into this sport for some type of return. I think that probably is the biggest thing getting lost in all of this.
Yeah, showing they're organized, showing they're unified. If they can get more fans interested in the league this year and do a better job on the production end, and I think they will. I'm calling it Template 26. This is the year where it's a make or break. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to attract some investors. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a return team or two. I don't have any intel on that, but I would say, okay, some of the owners may have had a problem with the looming union thing happening, and now it's done. And they're still talking to each other. So it's not that acrimonious. It was actually a successful negotiation. And as I said in the interview with Chris and Graham, no one party is ever totally happy in a good deal, right? So We'll see. What else?
Yeah, Matt, since you seem to be really focused on California and dogging people that live in the great state of California. Yeah, there's a smirk from you. You're also, I understand, a connoisseur of stadiums. California Legion have announced the stadiums that they're going to play at, their home games up and down the state of California. Can you name all 5?
Yes, I can. Next question.
Name them.
You just asked me if I could name them, and I said yes, I could name them, and we're going to move on now. I could. It's a dumb question. You know what, John? Why don't you name them for us?
Yeah, how about this? How about the Great Park in Irvine, California, Torero Stadium, San Diego, of course, Wallace Annenberg Stadium, UCLA here in Los Angeles, of course, St. Mary's Stadium, Northern California, in the East Bay area, and then Heart Health Park.
That's the San Francisco area for the folks at home. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. And Heart Health Park in Sacramento, where the Women's Eagles will also be hosting Black Ferns. There you go, Matt. There's your little stadium tour in California.
All right, good stuff. All right, okay. You know what? I'd like to go to each one of those games. I fly business, and I get a stipend. Anything else, John, before we let you go?
No, thanks again, Matt.
Fantastic. Thanks to John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning for calling in, and we'll be right back with Mr. Ryan Martin, the head coach of the New England Free Jacks, after this.
Mercy me, that could have put him in Ward 4.
I hope not, Bill. That's a maternity ward.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Scrummy, a new rugby app where you can play fantasy, track fixtures, predict results, and follow player stats. Play Six Nations Fantasy today for your chance to win tickets to the Champions Cup final. It's about to get scrummy.
And we are back, and we have the privilege of welcoming in Mr. Ryan Martin, the head coach of the New England Free Jacks. And Ryan, first off, welcome to the show, but I just wanted to get this out of the way before we continue. I wanted to offer my sincerest of condolences. The loss must be weighing heavily on you as the wound is still fresh, but your number 10 killed you.
Yeah, it was so funny yesterday, walking around the streets of Quincy and everyone was like down. I've honestly never experienced anything like it. It was like, there was like true hurt. It wasn't just like a fake, result. Oh, well, it was like people were like,
Seattle beat New England.
Yeah.
In the final.
Yeah. It was incredible.
Of course they're upset.
Yeah. No, it was a very down day over here.
Oh, you were right on to that. Your quick study. I mean, it's pretty funny, though, because it could be, a curtain raiser or a foreshadowing, rather, of 2026, the final between Seattle and New England. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Well, yeah, who knows? But hopefully we'd take our medicine and learn from the Patriots and make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, and the number 10 position, right? How ironic is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get down to the interview. Right now, you are looking to join the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Islanders, the Houston Comets, the Boston Celtics, the New York Yankees, and the Cleveland Browns as the only American professional sports franchises to win at least 4 championships in a row. You're second as head coach. But wouldn't you rather it was a cup rather than some awkward acrylic cement shield?
I think the Shield's done really well in the offseason. I know our general manager, TK's headed out skiing behind a boat on it. And there was a scene last week where they were using it as a snowboard down a hill of snow over here. So I actually think it's served its purpose for the shape of it.
Okay. All right. Some creativity breeds creativity. I just remember the first year, the Seattle Seawolves, it took like 7 of the guys to hoist this cement thing that they actually had. And I'm like, this is not going to work,
Yeah, no, it is. To carry it around to different functions, you got to get a bit of muscle about you.
Yeah, well, a championship's a championship, right? But
exactly.
This one is going to be a heavy lift. I mean, there are 5 other teams looking to claim the crown within the new parameters of a reduction of international players on the match day roster from, I think, what was 11 to now 7, centralized payments that make envelopes under the table a little bit more tricky, if not completely gone, and the somewhat controversial collective goal / priority of making Team USA better. These are really kind of transformative changes, and it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. How does this affect you as a coach?
Yeah, great question. I think the biggest change is the round robin. Obviously, it's just 10 rounds and then playoffs. That's so different. If you look back the last couple of years, there's what was it, 16 rounds last year, 18 the rounds before even get into playoffs, and then playoffs being quarters, semis, finals. So it changes your whole mentality. Obviously, we took our time last year to find our feet. We used those first 5 rounds kind of knowing we had that up our sleeve, but now you have to sprint. Like you got to come
5
out.
matches. You're looking at playoff race.
That's right. It's just such a different. The format is, I think, the biggest thing that we've been kind of studying and understanding. Lucky enough, myself and Pingy Talapatinga, who's our new forwards coach, we coach in the NPC in New Zealand from July to October. And that's exactly the same format. The National Provincial Championship is 10 rounds and then just straight playoffs. So we kind of have an appreciation of like what that means in terms of your squad and how quickly you're going to be connected and start performing straight away. So for me, that's the biggest one. Obviously, the changes in and around the international players and how many you can have in your squad. That's just adapting in terms of your recruitment. And we've gone a little bit different this year and younger, a lot more aspirational players, guys on the verge of, like that Super Rugby level who are we're bringing in international wise. So yeah, we've made changes to fit in accordingly with that. And I think that's something that TK does really well from the Free Jacks perspective is, read what is required to be successful in this kind of new format.
Well, you guys traditionally, especially during this 3 championship run, have been like a pop and play. You've lost stars that everybody would like, oh, they're done. And still managed. You've had an exodus of players because of overseas opportunities or maybe not being able to come back. And the hard part for you, and I know this is a hard part for Tom Kindly as well, because all of you guys are close, was having to part ways, particularly with some of the Canadian core.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was incredible for the club to have to go through that. And I know TK Tom Kindly took it really personal. Like that was he'd built.
He's going straight to hell.
Yeah, it was. To be honest, it was a terrible part of what we have to do. And but within that, there's new beginnings, and we've gone in a little bit, as I mentioned before, a different direction. This is going to be a way younger Free Jacks team. The players that we're bringing in internationally, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, really aspirational, super energetic. So we're kind of banking on that concept of, sprinting out of the blocks early on.
So what key veterans do you have coming back?
I think the biggest one is Wayne Vanderbank. Now, what's really special there is he's now become a domestic qualified player. He was just currently the American camp under Scott Lawrence. He's just come back. So that's a huge dynamic change for us, knowing that, Wayne's now not classed as an international player. And I think, like Wayne was really hard on himself. He probably felt as though he didn't have the best season last year. I think LaRue really kind of stood up in that midfield. So Wayne's really keen to have a big one, and he's on the USA radar. He wants to make that team and play World Cup football. So I'm really excited about him, and just he's been a glue man for us. This is his 5th season with us now. So I think someone like that, and as I said, turning into domestic is huge.
Now, the one thing that you guys have had is a storied back row, throughout this runs particularly. How's the back row looking?
Yeah, it's always been a strength of ours. It leads into our defense. I think defensively we've been statistically the best team over the last few years, and We got Joe Johnson, Captain Joe Johnson back. He's gold. He knows exactly how this machine operates, and he's actually got a very close friend of his joining him, Jacob Norris from the Bay Plenty area. That they've played a lot of rugby together, and we see Jacob's actually played for the New Zealand Māori All Blacks. He's on the fringe of Super Rugby.
So he's no slouch.
Oh no, this is a really hardened criminal we're bringing in. So you put those two together. Obviously, for me, I really enjoyed picking up Jameson from DC. I feel as though I was always thought he was a very aggressive player when we played against DC, and he led a lot of what they do. So to bring him
must be a kinder, mellower Jamison Fonana Schultz.
I love the way he plays. Like that to me, like it's just tempering it into putting all the energy in the right areas of the field and the part and what you're doing. So I think he'll suit us. Like we kind of love that rolling up the sleeves mentality in our back row. And I think our mix is really good. In and around the locks, we're a little bit younger this year, but banking on that kind of.
You and DC have kind of swapped some players, right? And then adding to this rivalry, which is now even more heated because there's only 6 teams in the league.
Yeah, well, we didn't beat DC last year. They beat us twice, and we all remember that around here. That was our only home loss last year at Veterans Memorial, which was pretty heated at half time when every official on the ground was breaking up a melee before entering our changing room. So there's definitely a bit of sting about the two teams there, and exciting to get back into them.
How great would it be if there was a New York franchise? Come on, man. We got to get New York back.
Yeah,
and Toronto.
I remember those days, having 2021 season, New York we had our one loss, one win against them, and that's where that rivalry started. So, yeah, it'd be cool to get something like that back.
All right. So when you're talking to fans right now, because everything is still, evolving, who are players that they can look for that they might not be familiar with?
Firstly, Nathan Salmon. He's coming from the NPC in New Zealand, Northland, the team I coach over there. He's a 20-year-old winger. He's been in and around the New Zealand Sevens program for the last couple of years, even as an 18-year-old straight out of school. And he's
got some pace.
Oh, he's fast. He's a physical specimen, really big athlete. He wants to get over here and get right into it and use this as a launching pad for bigger and better things. And I think he's going to be like a really exciting player to watch. And he's got a really awesome, unique personality off field as well, which will fit in really well over here. As I mentioned before, Jacob Norris, top quality loose forward coming in. He's going to add a lot of value and suit the style that we want to play. And then probably a really awesome pickup for us was a player called Keenan Higgins, who's currently with Edinburgh in the URC, helping with a medical joker there, and then he'll come to us. He's a very dominant player in the NPC in New Zealand, plays for Hawke's Bay. We feel as though we kind of, obviously losing LaRue was huge and awesome for him opportunity-wise, but I feel like bringing Keenan in is almost like for like.
Excellent. And is Joe going to be your captain?
Yeah, so there's no hiding the fact there. He was a brilliant captain last year. Joe and I go way back. I coached him when he was a schoolboy, 17 years of age. He was my captain for the New Zealand Barbarians, so we'll keep our partnership going.
All right, so when you're looking back at the 26th season, who's the team that you beat in the final for your 4th consecutive championship?
Wow. I as you mentioned, this is it's been so interesting what everyone's been doing in the off season. I think Seattle look like they've kind of played well into their DNA, and they're going to be pretty aggressive. Quite a big team coming around the corner.
Does this mean we have to get Bad Bunny to do the halftime show?
I'm keeping an eye on them, to be honest. And I think Chicago just looks solid, don't they? They've kind of know what they're about, and they've built a good base. And I thought they were a really, really good team last year. They were well coached, and we had a couple of good battles with them as well. But yeah, even Anthem, now they've got that. They've actually built a really strong roster, and putting really good internationals like Jordan Trainer coming in the backfield. He's an awesome player. Thought he's the best player for Utah last year. that there's actually not a leeway to make too many errors in the competition. I think you'll get hurt. So
you basically just named every team.
I'm probably tipping the hat to every team, to be honest. But I am looking at that Seattle roster thinking, wow, looks like they've put something pretty good together.
Are you worried about the depth?
No, I think what this competition has demanded is that you're really savvy around obviously who your internationals are. And then you've got to build out your roster with really awesome domestic players. So everyone's probably gone a little bit deeper and making sure that these players can quickly come into a professional environment. So I actually think the depth will potentially be better.
All right, and I got one final question for you. Now that Mags has taken on a league position, who is going to wear the Woodgie suit?
That's a great question. Maybe a new...
I got the guy for you. It's Phil from Jack's Rangers.
Well, he's got the height. But
it'll be a foul-mouthed Woodgie. Foul-mouthed Woodgie.
Yeah, there may be some personal grievance from game day.
I don't know, but we get some clicks, though. We might get some clicks. Maybe a cigarette, too. Phil, do you smoke? All right. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on. Much appreciated for taking the time out. Try not to freeze your eyeballs off when you go outside because it's really cold here in the Northeast. And best of luck. I can't wait to see you guys.
Thank you very much for having me on.
All right, that's head coach Ryan Martin of the New England Free Jacks, the champion New England Free Jacks. We'll be right back with Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Show on the College Rugby Corner after this.
Digs like a demented mole there.
It's 2026! Different year, new opportunity, and where does that start with? Your health. Health Enhanced Food is here to be able to make sure you get on the right path. We got 17 baking mixes just to be able to help you set you on your proper pathway. Whether you're taking it from the spectrum of ketosis, needing keto diet, gluten-free, or you need something more serious because you're diabetic, have renal failure, it's time to bake yourself into the best form that you ever have been. Head to healthenhancedfoods.com. Use code RugbyOdds to be able to get 25% off your first order. And of course, Matt, no, just stop talking. Guys, stop him.
Hi, I am Lucy. It's my first year as a Brownie and Girl Scouts. Our troop is 476, and we are raising money to go sleep behind the penguins in SeaWorld. So scan the QR code below and help support us in our next adventure. Bye. Thank you.
How you doing? I'm Jim Hamilton. I'm at the Pig and Whistle. I'm at the famous Pig and Whistle. Look, I've got my rucksack on. I'm a well-known man around the world as one of the best rugby players to have ever played the game. No, I'm not. It's a lie. But we've got Paul O'Connell's montage on the wall. I've heard a lot about this place, and I'm here. Make sure, though, that you come here, but you also tune in to Rugby Wrap-Up.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
Going in like a wildcat.
And we're back with Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Show. Pat, welcome back. What say ye?
Well, it's spring finally. I don't know about you, but it's safe to walk outside. It doesn't hurt as much as it did a month ago.
Are you certifiably insane? It's not spring. It's the furthest thing from spring. All right, we got above 35 here in New York today, but it's going to go back.
That's what I'm saying. Tank top weather, tube top maybe.
All right.
Depending on how confident in your body you are,
Tube top. That's a bold choice.
Rugby wrap up tube tops, Matt. Merch idea.
All right. Okay. All the kids will love him.
Look, it's college seven season. Last weekend was pretty dormant. There was it was Valentine's Day, so not a lot of sevens played. A little bit here and there, but this weekend a huge splash. We have tons of qualifiers across the board. 4 more teams are going to punch their ticket to the CRC, the granddaddy of them all. 144 teams, the largest college rugby tournament in the world. In Maryland, the national championships later this spring. 4 more teams punching their ticket this weekend. Hawkeye Sevens is a big one. That's women's Division I club qualifier there in Iowa City, hosted by the University of Iowa Hawkeyes, home of Erica Koulibaly. She's Erica Koulibalin.
That's easy for you to say.
They have Pool A, Ohio State, Howard, Colorado State, Purdue, Iowa, Boise State in Pool B, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pool C, Michigan State, Iowa State in Pool D. So a great, from the Rocky Mountain Conference to the Big Ten to the Midwest, all the way out east to the Mid-Atlantic with Howard. So a great representation in that tournament. And then on the men's side, the big tournament of the week is really the Men's Premier Cup, the first qualifier of the season down in Florida. Sunshine Sevens won last year by Iowa Central. Who's going to be the first team to punch their ticket to the 32-team Men's Premier Cup this year? We'll find out. We got Florida. Indiana looks like a heavy favorite. Clemson, Alabama, Aquinas, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, South Carolina, NC State, South Carolina. The Gamecocks got a new player, McCracken, off the football team, running back, scored 5 tries in his first sevens tournament this spring. He looks like he might be a guy to keep an eye on. And then a new Trinity transfer for Notre Dame and James O'Sullivan there from Trinity in Dublin in Ireland. You know he's going to be really good. Should help him absorb the loss of Jack Waterhouse, who was a Player of the Year candidate, taking the spring semester off to Sydney. So
really,
our loss is his gain. Enjoy your semester in Sydney, Jack.
I want his life.
No kidding, right?
How great would a semester abroad be right now? Come on, man. Just give me one semester abroad. Please, somebody sponsor that, please.
Yeah, you can go. It's not too late to go back. You can be like Rodney Dangerfield. You can go back to school and then do a semester abroad. I'd watch that movie.
Yeah, all right. Fair. But you know what? That's a story for another day, Pat. Do you have anything else before we let you go?
That's really it, man. College Sevens is cooking. That's what we have on the horizon this week. We have huge ones, Frostbite Sevens in Pennsylvania next weekend. Yellow Rose Sevens have almost 40 teams in it down in Texas next weekend. So the road to the CRC is well and truly open, and a lot of sevens all spring. NLR 9's coming up in Vegas soon. We got a couple of NCR teams playing in that, so we'll have more to report on that. But that's a little bit down the road here in February.
Excellent. Another sensational update from Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Show on the College Rugby Corner. Pat, we're out of time, unfortunately, but I want to thank Mr. Pat Clifton. I want to thank John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, Ryan Martin, the head coach of the New England Free Jacks, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Rugby Odds. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.